NBC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Well, we say good morning, everybody. It is great to be with all of you here as we kick off a Thursday. Yes, indeed, we are talking about fog, we are talking about rain, and we could be talking about the potential for some snow here on Sunday. So let's get started. We are going to begin in Mannheim. It is great to welcome all of you in. A lot of people watching here Beyond the Forecast, and that is so much fun to see. It's great to interact with all of you, and thanks for putting your trust in us. We have got some snowpack here in Mannheim. The fog is lifting a bit. We can make out the background, but we can still see a lot of low crud. I also see the sunshine trying to break through. I'm just not sure that that is going to happen because rain is on the way. It will develop later this afternoon and continue into tonight. Heavy rain, in fact, tonight could yield amounts of about an inch in spots. And we actually do need it. You may not believe it, but we do. Snow potential then on Sunday is a big question mark. I would compare it to last Sunday. I don't think it'll be a major storm here, but it is starting to hug the coast, and we need to keep an eye on it. Now, the airport is socked in with this fog. Look at it. We can make out the plane here on the tarmac, but everywhere else, that fog is getting thicker. There's just a lot of low-level crud to clear out. Look at the visibility. It's actually going down in some spots this morning from Reedsville. Nothing doing there. We've got below a mile in Harrisburg, Lancaster, Mechanicsburg. York is at a mile. Lebanon has low visibility now. So just about everywhere we are socked in. We've got low-level crud right over top of the viewing area. And that's just the best way to put it. We get this a lot. We get this low-level crud right in the Susquehanna Valley. And even though we get warm flow here in the west, in the east, well, we get this marine layer. And so even though temperatures are warmer toward Pittsburgh, we can never seem to tap into it. Yesterday's high, only 39 degrees. East flow is stubborn. It happens often in the spring. We're on the cusp of spring. And while we thought we were going to be in the 50s, over the weekend, we said, hey, nice 3-day stretch, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Once we got to Tuesday, we started to pick up on this east flow. It's subtle, but when it happens, it can really, really mess with temperatures, and that's why I set a high of 30. I set a high of 40 yesterday, and we only made it to 39. Still, I'll take it, and guess what? Right now, temperatures are stuck in the 30s. I'm not sure we can warm up too much because, once again, this wedge of colder air is sort of right here in the Susquehanna Valley thanks to this east flow. Meanwhile, look at Johnstown, 47, Pittsburgh, 46. We'll see. It wouldn't shock me if some of us could get into the low 40s today. I could see it happening, but again, it is very tough to scour out cold, dense air, and that's what we have right now. Rain will develop after 2 p.m. today. We'll get into that in a bit. 39 degrees on this Thursday. And the reason I'm going 39, that's where we were at yesterday. I'm using persistence. If we get into the low 40s, hey, consider it a win. Not going to feel much different, though. Yucky, gloomy, raw. And we've got a low of 36 tonight. Notice, again, the diurnal change is not much. Only a few degrees between today and tonight. And it could be up to an inch of rain in spots with a little bit of a breeze from the east. So where is this system coming from? Well, it's coming from the Midwest and near St. Louis. And you can see now we're starting to see some showers develop here near the low. It also has some moisture out ahead of it. And this is what is going to push in this afternoon, sort of ahead of schedule. Although we started to pick up on this yesterday, too. Originally, early in the week, the rain looked to be Friday. Then it moved to Thursday night. And now it's going to arrive as early as this afternoon. By the way, I still think the majority of the rain comes overnight, but nonetheless, it will be raining here during the afternoon hours. Look at the spring-like temperatures here. Look at this nice warm tongue of air extending across the south. 60s in Atlanta and Memphis. These are current temperatures, by the way. These are not highs for today. These are current temperatures. Meanwhile, cold air returning to Denver, only 18 degrees there, and thanks to the east flow over Harrisburg, a big difference between Harrisburg and points just to the south, which are warm. Now, will the cold air damming win out, or will the warm air advection win out? Yesterday, the cold air damming did. I see no reason to think it can't today either. Precisioncast certainly thinks that. Again, it wouldn't totally shock me if we get into the low 40s, but this is holding steady with temperatures in the 30s. Now, tonight, not much of a drop. We should stay above freezing, and then tomorrow's going to be one of the interesting setups. I think tomorrow could be a lot like Tuesday because the rain will be out of here early, and we start to get some clearing. I'm just going to follow sort of the Susquehanna River here. We start to get some clearing to the west, and all of a sudden, boom, look at that. Chambersburg, McConnellsburg, even Gettysburg and Carlisle could be near 50. Points to the east where it stays cloudy, and you get a little bit of this east flow. Guess what? Much cooler. So tomorrow's going to be hard to put just one temperature on the board. Right now we have 42. I could see bumping that up maybe into the mid-40s because I think there will be some clearing on Friday. This evening, if you're headed out, there will be some showers. It's going to be damp. It's going to be raw. Temperatures will hold in the upper 30s for a good part of the evening, with rain on the way. The heaviest rain, though, will be overnight, but here's the hour by hour. Expect rain to develop anytime after 2. Some of it could be heavy, especially in our southern tier. It will remain showery this evening, and then sort of another batch pushes in overnight. This will be the heavy stuff, and this will fall through the morning commute. But I think anytime between 8 and 10 a.m. it exits. This is going to be a fast mover. It's in and out tonight, and then notice tomorrow, again, notice we have this sort of line where we see the clouds being stubborn in the east, but clearing occurs in the west. I think these spots right here could get near 50. I think these spots over here stuck in the low 40s perhaps. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day to follow the temperatures. And then I think Saturday looks nice. We're talking partly cloudy skies. Right now we have 48. Maybe that's a little bullish, but I think Saturday's going to be mild, and that is going to, of course, play with our snow forecasting for Sunday. You don't want mild air ahead of a snowstorm if you like snow, because then it's very tough to accumulate. We'll get into that in a bit. Let's focus on the rain threat first. About a half inch to an inch of rain. Clearly, the bullseye for this storm is south and west of Harrisburg, probably more over West Virginia and Maryland. But Chambersburg, Gettysburg, South Mountain, you folks could get over an inch with this. I think a half inch to an inch certainly seems like a decent forecast, and that's been steady throughout much of the week. All right, let's talk about the extended, because we've got to review the models. And while there still is not a great solution here for Sunday yet, it reminds me of last Sunday where a lot of the model guys simply did not know what to do with the phasing of the northern jet, the polar jet, and the southern jet. And I think we're having some issues with that now too, because watch what happens. Both the European and the GFS, the American model, do show now the low sort of hugging the coast and giving us the opportunity for snow. Here's the European. I still think the phasing looks off here to me, because let me try to point this out. The low is here. I think it's a little too far south. It is drawing in moisture, but watch what happens. Even though this does show some snow and some phasing issues, I think if this scenario plays out, it's going to be very disorganized. The actual low and the bulk of the moisture continue to sit here, which makes a lot of sense with where the placement of the low is. That's too far to the east. Now, that's not saying we can't get any snow, but I just don't like it for being a big storm. And again, with mild air out ahead of it, good luck. Now, the GFS is a little more bullish. It was bullish last week, too. We know how that happened, so I trust the GFS as far as I'd like to throw it sometimes. But this would have us more in a cold, snowy pattern on Sunday that would continue into Monday morning. It has the low in a more favorable spot. And so it's something that does bear watching. The European trending toward the GFS here with the last couple of runs. But I buy the Europeans' level of disorganization. This looks a little too organized for my liking. The other factor is that, again, on Saturday, we're going to be at 48 degrees. And some folks have asked, how can it rain today at 36 and snow on Sunday at 36? It's all about the upper levels. A nor'easter is going to pull in enough cold air that if you're in the right spot, it will snow. But again, 48 on Saturday, even if we're not quite that warm, it's still going to be warm enough. And so I just don't like the scenario of, a big nor'easter here yet. But it bears watching. So rain will develop after 2 p.m. today, and we're going to do a model breakdown coming up. So stay tuned. Rain exits early Friday. I think it's gone by 8, 9, 10 a.m., mostly cloudy tomorrow, some peaks of sunshine on the west shore, and then partly cloudy and milder on Saturday. Again, we could be talking about Saturday temperatures being mid to upper 40s, which certainly, again, shows you what we're looking at. Now, if I pull up the NAM model here for Saturday, this shows cooler. Now, the NAM is notoriously good at running cold. It's got a bit of a cold bias. So this doesn't show upper 40s, but it does show, mid to upper 30s in the north, low to mid 40s in the south. Even if we're sitting at 44 degrees, my friends, that is not conducive to a good snowstorm. The reason we had a good one in January was because we were cold leading into it, and we were cold throughout it. It didn't matter, by the way, because we still got sleet to mix in, which we told you we would, because then you got to diagnose the upper levels. There's a lot to diagnose here with these snowstorms, but let's go through, and we're going to show you now. I want to go to the European ensembles, because this takes into account all of the runs of the European and kind of puts them together. I don't want to necessarily show just the European. I want to go to the ensembles. I like it, especially when models do not know what's going to happen. So Saturday we stay dry. Here comes Sunday. Now remember, Here's my rain snow line. Here's my 0 degrees Celsius line. It's right here. So this puts us in some snow for Sunday morning, but also notice where all the moisture is. It's to the south. This does show some moisture, but it's disorganized. It moves it a little bit to the north. This would put us in that snow range because of it's cold enough at the upper levels, and the placement of the low is here, but it's too far south to get a decent snow. And if we let this play out, again, this could snow into Monday, but the majority of the precipitation is east. So what does that mean then for our snow totals? Well, let's play it out. I would suggest some snow is possible, but for all the weather weenies out there posting a foot of snow or more, I don't see that happening. I mean, could I see a couple of inches here? I mean, this gives about 2 to 4 inches of snow. The European ensembles, I think that is a fair take if it snows at all. It's possible that given the track of the low, we could get some rain to mix in. Remember, it's going to be mild on Saturday out ahead of this thing, but I would say right now, if you're looking and hoping for some snow, the best case scenario would be like a 2 to 4, 2 to 5 inch snow because we're on the northern edge of this. And the system, to me, still looks disorganized enough. So the bottom line here is, can we completely write off any snow on Sunday? No, we can't. We can't ignore it. Absolutely not. And I'm not going to do it. But is it going to be a blockbuster nor'easter snowstorm for our area? I don't see that happening. I see a modest snowfall potential, and it's something that we're going to have to monitor, certainly. But again, I caution you, when we look at our long-range temperatures, yes, it could be cold enough to snow here on Sunday, but again, temperatures are marginal. It gets down to 32 Sunday morning. That would be enough to have snow accumulate during the day. But again, this is the model blend. Look at these temperatures, even going into next week. I mean, we're not seeing any cold outbreak here. And if we go to the European, even that, which has been trending colder, look, 48 on Saturday. It does have us cool down with the storm on Sunday and then behind it a bit, but we're right back into the 50s. Now, this has wild swings. You can't necessarily take this, seriously. But the point is this. The mild air out ahead of this thing on Saturday is a factor, and it's a big factor in terms of how we treat this forecast. I also think the disorganization of the storm, and right now the path of it, even though it has trended a bit closer to us, is still not enough to give us a blockbuster storm. So what we can say is this. I think we get about a half inch to an inch of rain tonight. That's going to wipe away a good amount of the snowpack. The rain exits early tomorrow. Most of the day is dry. And I think that 42 is conservative. I think we could see highs near 50 west of the river tomorrow, and we'll adjust if we need to. A milder day on Saturday. I'm going to keep the 48 for now, even if it's 44. That is warm leading into a potential snow event. But the reason I put tracking snow potential on the 7 days, I do believe there is some. And you know me, I do not get on here and talk about it if I don't believe it. And until this morning, I didn't really believe it. I still think it's going to be disorganized. I don't think it's going to be a big snowstorm. Again, if it starts to track that way, we'll let you know. But right now, maybe some modest accumulation is possible on Sunday. We're still 4 days out, so we need to keep an eye on it. And the next week, it will be cooler and breezy to start behind the storm, but nothing cold, nothing Arctic. So I think that's another takeaway. Hopefully that helps you understand the world of weather here as we take you sort of beyond the forecast and what we expect over the next few days. Keep tuned in because this is a highly changeable forecast as we move into the weekend. For now, for Beyond the Forecast, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm meteorologist Brett Thackara. Follow me on Facebook there. Give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram, too. And check out ABC 27 Plus. We're always on there. Have a wonderful Thursday. Stay dry tonight. And we'll continue to track the potential for snow on Sunday. Thanks a lot, everybody.